But here's the third one that's so interesting. It is your disposition. And all of us, we were raised by either one or two parents. Maybe they had some help from the grandparents or the aunts or the uncles. And you have to admit, your mother and father and your relatives, they had a certain mindset, a frame of mind, a way of thinking, a point of view, a disposition. And many times that mindset either brought a lot of faith to your heart, that you felt like you could do something big, or it brought fear to your heart and hoping that someday you would just survive. So I had a lot of researchers help me with this book. And in fact, the man who is my editor is a teacher at Princeton University. And so we worked very hard on this. And one thing we found is that most children have what they call a miracle mindset. And a miracle mindset, as they've done the research, is that most children, they think uncommon, they think not regular, and they think beyond. So really write this down and think about this for your own life. That these children, they say, most children, they think uncommon, not regular, and beyond. All right, so for those of you that have children, you know that children will create fantasies about things. There was a movie called Frozen when it first came out. Oh my goodness, that song, they just kept playing it over and over. And little kids would sing that song, and little girls would say, "I'm a princess." Or when little boys are young, you know, they see something and I am gonna be a policeman, and they have these thoughts. And because they have an innocence in their mindset. So researchers are finding that many times it is by the way we are educated, by our parents, by the people around us, by our teachers, by our coaches if you played sports, by our bosses if you had a job, and they begin to try to tell you how you should think. This should be your frame of mind. This should be your way of thinking. This should be your point of view. This should be your disposition. But as a child, you're thinking these amazing thoughts of beyond. What do you mean by beyond, Tim Storey? Beyond means outside the limits, outside the boundaries. So the question I start with you today is this: what would you do in this business in the next 12 months if you had a miracle mentality? In the next 12 months, what could you accomplish in this business if you had a miracle mentality? If you had a mentality that was extraordinary, not regular, not common, what could you accomplish? This is where we're going today. I tell you, you're going to love this one. Now, you've heard me say before that there are 3 levels of living, but I want you to write this down again. Number 1 is what I call almost. You remember this, almost. And almost means, Raja, I wish I could have done it, but I almost did it. Terry, I wish I could have shown up, but I almost did it. Dave, I wish I could have done it, but I almost did. Almost means not quite, nearly, sort of. All of us have had people that were our overseers that had almost thinking. Then you have, as you know, I teach the most thinking. Most is okay as long watch, is the ceiling is high. If the ceiling is low, and this is the most you can go, we got problems. One of the reasons that this group with our leader Raja is one of the best that I've seen around the world in this kind of business is because of the mindset of the leader. If you believe that's true, just lift your hand. It's the mindset of the leader. And John Maxwell calls it the law of the lid, the law of the lid. That you can put a lid on somebody or something or even a business. But you have to understand that under our leadership here, there is no lid. We want you to go beyond. That's why when I saw that my friend Terry Johal just recently went to the next level, I contacted him and congratulated him because why? Because he believed for the next level and he went to the next level. And I'm telling you, as a friend and family to this company, you are going to the next level. But you have to get to the point where you, watch what I say, you have to unlearn certain things that you have learned. Write this down. You have to unlearn certain things you learned. Because somebody may have taught you had to live almost. Somebody may have taught you can only live most, the law of the lid. But I'm here to tell you that you are called to be utmost because an utmost God did not create almost children. You are not supposed to almost be able to pay your bills, almost take a vacation, almost be happy, almost put your children to schools that are good schools. No. An utmost God created utmost children. Now, you're going to love where I go with this today. So, Tim Storey, how do I reach this highest point? I'm going to give you 5 steps. Number 1, you have to become awake. This is all new material coming to you from this book right here. Number 1, you have to become awake. And what do you mean by that? A lot of people that you have working with you are asleep. They have to wake up that it is already 2021 and it is time to wake up. You have to wake up. Number 1, how do I get to this place of living the utmost life? Number 1, you become awake. Number 2, you take inventory. What I mean by inventory, you need to look around. How is my apartment? Is it suitable? How is my house? Is it good enough for what I need to do? Do I have enough office space? How is my car? Is it reliable? You have to take inventory. And I tell you, most people do not want to take inventory, and that's one reason most people don't want to go to the medical doctor. Because the medical doctor is going to take inventory. They're going to do a blood test, then they're going to do another test, then they're going to do another test, and you really want to say, okay, enough testing. Why don't you stop right there, okay? All right, so we do not like these doctors taking inventory, and we don't usually like our wives taking inventory. And some of you ladies don't like your husbands taking inventory. And some of you do not like Raja or all the leaders taking inventory. But in order to become the person you're supposed to be with the right mindset, you have to take inventory. So, let me ask you a question while you're taking inventory. Are you, right now, are you living at the utmost level? Take inventory. Are you living at the place where you know you should be. You take inventory. So number one, you become awake. Number two, you take inventory. We're talking about how to rise up to the right mindset. Number three, as you know that I talk about, you have to have the right partners. And this is what's so exciting about what we're doing here today on Saturday. We are partnering with power. And all of us know that when you begin to partner with power, it rubs off on each other. When I'm talking to Raja, he rubs off on me. When I'm talking to Terry, rubs off. Dave rubs off. All the guys that I love in this company, we rub off on each other. You must partner with people that have a mindset that wants to take you to a higher level. Number four, you must have the right plans. And just take this down because we teach a lot on plans in this company. Awake, take inventory, partners, plans, and then here's where we go today. I think I'm very difficult to beat in this area. The word persistence is number 5. Persistence. Now, in studying this word persistence, let me tell you what it says in the dictionary. Number 1, perseverance. It means to persevere. I'm going to tell you right now, we're in the middle of a difficult time, but you are persevering. You woke up, you got ready. Everybody I see on the screen looks handsome and good looking. So you are persevering. So persistence means perseverance. It also means tenacity. Tenacity. And this is where I feel like a lot of leaders, they lose their tenacity. Life starts to hit them and they lose their tenacity. The other thing persistence means is determination. Determination. For all the leaders in our group that have got to the levels where they are, oh, you better know they had to be determined. They had to go somewhere when there was snow. They had to somehow make it through a storm. They had to talk to people who looked like they didn't want anybody to talk to them. They had to be determined. Now, you're going to love this one. Persistence means staying power. Woo, staying power. Staying power. I tell you right now, in this company, get ready for the best 5 years you've ever had. If you believe this, raise your hand right now. Come on. You know why? Because you are here to stay. This is staying power. We're not people, watch me, that are going to be pushed around by life. Oh, so much difficulty. I wish I could stay in the company, but I got so much difficulty. No, because we are persistent. We persevere. We have tenacity. We have determination. We have staying power, staying power, staying power. Where do we get the staying power? We get it from our mindset and we get it from our spirit. Woo! From our mindset and from our spirit. So, I'm going to ask you a few questions now. If you were the bravest version of yourself right now, what could you do in this business? If you are the bravest version of yourself, what could you do in this business? Where could you be financially? Where could you be helping more people? If you were the bravest version of yourself, what could you be doing? Oh, but Tim Storey, you don't understand my background. You don't understand what my mother did or my father did or somebody died or something happened. Listen, we've all had it. But I told you We can have a strong mindset, frame of mind, way of thinking, point of view, disposition. We can change it. Second question I have for you today. Are you a person of persistence? Do you push through? Are you a person of persistence? And I love all you people are saying in the chats, this is powerful. People are saying, this is on fire. This is very motivational. I tell you, I am on fire for you. I have been waiting 4 days to talk to you. I am ready. This is my family I'm talking to. Are you a person of persistence? Don't wait for just me to be a person of persistence, or Raja to be a person of persistence, or Dave or Terry. Are you a person of persistence? If it's snowing, you need to show up unless they tell you not to leave your house. If you need to make the call, make the call. If you need to show somewhere and do the thing you don't want to do it. Are you a person of persistence? Okay? Question number 3. What percentage of the time are you persistent? Oh, this is good. Because I know a lot of people that are part-time persistent. Oh, when I feel like it, I really would like to go to the next level, but we got a pandemic right now. It's not the same. Now that we cannot meet face to face, it's not the same. You know what that is? That's part-time persistence. Because someone like all of you that are watching, we are full-time persistent. If I got to wear a mask, I'm still persistent. If I get quarantined, I'm still persistent. If I get sick, I'm still persistent. If my dog is sick, I'm still persistent. No matter what you're going through, you stay persistent. So I have a question for you. What percentage of the time are you persistent? I like what people are saying. Somebody just said, wow. Because you're not going to make it where you need to be if you're part-time persistent. And just wait to where I'm going. I'm just warming up. This is just a little bit of what's in this book. This is like the appetizer I'm on right now. Okay? So, question number 4. What new habits do you think you need to become more persistent? What new habits do you need to become more persistent? Now, as you know, I work with a lot of entertainers. And it was my privilege to know this man named Kobe Bryant. If you've heard of Kobe Bryant, please raise your hand. Okay. You have to admit, for some of you sports fans that know basketball, he was one of the best basketball players of his time. Okay? And Kobe Bryant created something called the Mamba mentality. And I studied his book on the Mamba mentality, and I watched many interviews on the Mamba mentality. And what Mamba, like M-A-M-B-A, this Mamba mentality that he's talking about, watch, it is really about this idea of the frame of mind, the way of thinking, the point of view, and the disposition. So what we're going to create in you, like never before in this company, is we are going to create this type of Mamba mentality where you do not go in and out of persistence. You stay in persistence. On Monday, you're persistent. On Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you are persistent, you're determined, and you have staying power. Okay? How many of you are liking this so much already? Now, this is Kobe Bryant's 5 traits to the Mamba mentality. Woo! Get ready. Bikram, you're liking this, right? Come on. 5 traits to the Mamba mentality. Let's see if you have the Mamba mentality. Number 1, be passionate. Be passionate. We all know when someone has a strong mentality, they're passionate. When somebody has a weak mentality, watch. Maybe, maybe not. Dave, Dollywall, I'll try. I'll try to phone you. Maybe I'll get to you. Okay? But when somebody has a Mamba mentality, number 1, be passionate. Write this down. Number 2, ooh, here we go. Be obsessive. Be obsessive. I'm going to tell you a story. When I was only in the 4th grade, the teacher said to me, Timmy Storey, go ahead and read the next page, because we were reading out loud. They were teaching us to read out loud. And Terry, Johal, I never read out loud in my entire life. So I remember we had our books, and I looked like this scared to watch. And I said, what page is it, Mrs. Cook? The next page, page 16. Dave, Dollywall. I was so scared. And I was like looking at the pages, so nervous. And so the kids started to laugh. But I could read, but I was scared. So I read and I messed up some things. And then I didn't like that feeling. So I became obsessed. And I went home. I want you all to listen. This is very emotional. I didn't tell my mother. I didn't tell my father. I didn't tell my brother. I didn't tell my sister. But Bikram, listen what I did. I would get my book late at night and I would read out loud. Because I slept in the same room as my brother. But when my brother was gone, I would read. I would read out loud. I would read. You know why? Because I did not like the feeling of not being a good reader and having 28 of my classmates. I don't like it. I became obsessed. So I started reading and reading and reading and reading and reading and reading and reading. So Oprah Winfrey said this to me. She says, Tim, I think you are the greatest speaker in the world. She says, I never seen a speaker that almost every word you say, boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, bam, bam, boom, boom. And then she says to me, do you read out loud? This is a true story. I said, how do you know this? She says, because your diction is so good. The way you say every word is so good. Do you read out loud? And I said, Oprah, I can't believe you're telling me this. Since this happened to me in the 4th grade, I read out loud. I need you to listen to this. Every week of my life. Because I speak to people. And I need to have my words right. So, Tim Storey, you're obsessed with reading out loud. Yes, I am. So watch this. So for my book, which is going to be a best-selling book, this right here, already, it doesn't come out till March 2nd, and we have sold, listen, thousands and thousands of books already. One company alone, they are emailing to 1.8 million of their people. One company alone. I want you to hear what I'm saying. It's good to be obsessed. So now Now, the people who do this book, the number one publishing company, HarperCollins, they say, now, Tim, you have to go in and read your book. You have to do your book on tape. And then they say to me, but you might be a little bit nervous, but don't worry. There will be someone to coach you. Terry, I smiled a little bit. They don't know. I was obsessed with reading out loud, Raja, since I was in 4th grade. So when I went into the studio, they had somebody there just in case Tim Storey was a little nervous to read. Oh, let me read my new book out loud. La, 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 oh, oh. As I started to read, this is a true story. I was just reading and reading and reading and making no mistakes, just reading and reading, making no mistakes, reading and reading and reading. The guy came and knocked on the door because it was, you're in the recording studio. He knocked. He says, like this. He goes, oh my gosh, take a break, please. He says, how did you get this way? I said, what? He says, most readers, they read, then they stop, then they make a mistake, then they read, then they stop. You're reading and reading and reading, because I became obsessed. I became obsessed because I didn't like how it felt like for 28 students. How do you remember it was 28 students? Because I was student number 29. 28 people, when I read, he can't read so good. I didn't like the feeling. I became obsessed. So when I did my book, The Miracle Mentality, and I went in the studio, they said, I think you broke a record. My goodness. You read this book so fast, going one after. I said, yeah, let's finish, and now let's go have some lunch. The Mamba mentality. Be passionate. Number 2, be obsessive. How many of you like this? How many of you want to be obsessive about this company, your life, changing the culture, changing this world, changing our families? Be obsessive. Kobe Bryant says, number 3, you have to be relentless. Woo! Relentless. Relentless means what? You get hit and you come back. You get hit, you come back. You get hit, you come back. The doctor tells you, oh, your body's not doing so good, but you don't give up. You pray to God, God, I know you can make my body better. You get the right help, and we push through. To have the Mamba mentality, you must be relentless. Number 4, it's the same word we used before. You must be resilient. Resilient. From the Mamba mentality, he says, you must be resilient. And then, oh, I love this one. Number 5. 5 traits of the Mamba mentality by Kobe Bryant. You must become fearless. You must become fearless. Here's what most people say. What if I don't succeed? What if you do? What if I don't make it to the next level? What if you do? What if my company doesn't do what I want it to do in 2021? What if it does? You can get to the point where you do not look at fear the way you used to. You can unlearn the things that people put in your mind that try to make you fearful. I'm here to tell you that you are going to have so much faith this year. Faith in your God, faith in your ability, faith in your partners, and you are going to rise up. So number 1, be passionate. Number 2, be obsessive. Number 3, be relentless. Number 4, be resilient. Number 5, be fearless. Be fearless. I was talking to Mike Tyson. He was a boxer. I want you to know, he's still very scary. we talk, and he's this close to me, and he says to me, Tim Storey, tell me what you really think. I have to be honest with you. I didn't tell him everything because he's very intimidating. So I said to him, Mike Tyson, when you were at your best, were you nervous about who you were fighting? He looked at me and he says, Tim, are you serious? Because he was fearless. Kobe Bryant was fearless. Michael Jordan was fearless. Magic Johnson, fearless. All right, for the sake of it, I won't talk about cricket because I don't know enough about cricket, okay? Because I know some of you like cricket. But let's talk about American football. Tom Brady, the man's 43 years of age. He goes from the New England Patriots, win all these Super Bowls. They say, he's 43, he's old. In the middle of the season, they were saying, he's old. He should have retired. He's looking not like himself. No. They didn't realize that he had a Mamba mentality. This is good, huh? See, a lot of people have counted you out before. They're not going to do it. They're not going to make it. They don't realize you have a Mamba mentality. You're passionate, you're obsessive, you're relentless, you're resilient, and when you are these things, you will become fearless. That you know. What if I fall? Then you get back up. What if I fail? Then you get back up. What if it doesn't work? Then you get back up. So let me just say this to you today. And then I want to hear a little bit of reaction to what we're talking about. I believe that you are going to have an amazing life. But the question is, do you believe it? I believe you're going to have an amazing year. But do you believe it? I believe that you are going to have an amazing 5 years. But do you believe it? Do you believe it? Do you believe it? Because watch. When you believe it, you expect it. Ooh. When you believe it, you expect it. 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 Do you expect? Do you expect good things to happen to your family this year? Yes. Do you expect your body to feel better this year? Yes. Do you expect your mind to get stronger this year? Yes. Do you expect us to come through this pandemic stronger? Yes. Do you expect our business, this business here, to be stronger? Yes. Why? Because we have filled our mind with the right mentality. And we have a mindset, a frame of mind, a way of thinking, a point of view, a disposition that says, yes, we can. Thank you for listening to my talk today.
Wow, amazing, Tim, always. But this is mind-blowing today. All the questions that you're giving us and all this from Mamba mentality, I think be passionate and be obsessive and be relentless and be resilient and be fearless. I think these are the qualities of a great leader, and really appreciate your time. But more importantly, I wanted to go over a few questions with you.
Yes.
Because many of the people online right now, they might be brand new into the business. Some might be doing a little bit, and then, all these internal beliefs and internal thoughts just pull us down sometimes, and how to overcome and then just become and then go after becoming a champion. And so let me ask you a few questions here. Then obviously we will have some reaction from our EVCs here as well. But first question I wanted to ask you, Tim, is everyone wants to be successful, but why people stop after a few rejections?
That's a great question. I think most of it, Raja, is in the training, in the tutoring, in the mentoring. That a lot of you, when you were little, you did not see people that finished what they started. Maybe your father said, I'm going to go into the garage and I'm going to change everything around, and maybe he only did it for one day, but it took 5 days to do the job. I remember going to a friend's house and I looked up and the house was only barely painted and I never said anything. And I went back there 3 months later, and when he went to the other room, I looked up and the house was just still kind of being painted. So he said, I noticed that when I came in the room, you were looking up. He said, only Tim Storey would notice something like this, that my house is halfway painted. I said, what was your thinking? He said, I just got lazy. So one of the things I love that we're doing, Raja, with your leadership is that we are mentoring people, tutoring them. And so I want to challenge all of you that are just coming into this company, because I feel like I'm part of this. I'm like a family to you. Do not leave, because we are tutoring you and mentoring you to change your habits. And as we teach you how to be a finisher in this company, you will learn how to be a finisher in other areas of your life. So yes, you must be mentored and tutored to be a finisher.
It's a finisher mentality that you start something and you finish it no matter what it takes. So that's something you visualize during your lifetime, as Tim just said. And sometimes all our surroundings and associations, as we say, associations impact our lives in a big way, because associations impact our mindset.
Very good.
Yeah, so that is powerful. Second one, this is about beliefs. So what internal beliefs can lead you to success? Because we all hold something within us, because sometimes it is difficult to put that into words. But what are those some of the beliefs which somebody has to lead, that leads them to success?
Raja, because me and you are such good friends and I've interviewed you for some of my programs, you know that many people feel like they're not worthy. They feel like, you know, my life has only gone this far. And when they start to get more, they start to sabotage themselves, because for some reason they think they're not worthy of it. That, you know, I'm only this person, or I come from only this family, or I've come from only this situation. And you have to understand this, that success is not just for your neighbor. Success is not just for people that we look up to, like, you know, people that have done amazing things. But success is for you as well. And that you are worthy of what's going to happen to you. And please don't sabotage it, because when I started doing well financially and people began to clap for Tim Storey, I used to think to myself, this is too much. And you almost want to back away from it. But be humble and be grateful, but take what God has given you.
All right, awesome. So that is just powerful belief that you just feel internally, which attracts a lot of external success. And so I'll give this to right now a few EVCs about how do they feel about today's talk and this new book coming up, which this is my humble request to all of you, that you should pick up this book and go through it and read it word to word, and just apply some of the things which will impact your lives in a big way. But more importantly, I have a great announcement for all of you at the end. But until then, let's hear a few things from our EVCs here. So I will ask Dave Dhaliwal here. So Dave, if you take over or if you have any questions, question for Tim.
Oh, it was really powerful. Thank you, Tim, for coming and sharing those beautiful thoughts with us. Few things hit me hard personally. One thing I noticed that as you ask the question why people, when they start the business and they quit after facing few rejections, I think fear disables us from seeing our own possibilities.
Yes.
That was beautiful question and well answered. Then Tim mentioned awaken to our possibilities, like being awake. That's what I notice every single day. Most suffering in people's life is coming from not being awake. So this is powerful giveaway today,
Yes.
and I loved it. And the last thing I loved the most, the internal feeling of lack of worthiness, like I'm not, I don't deserve it, or I'm not worth it. It is self-killing thought, and it is killing like millions of people in our world.
Yes.
And you are doing great work, Tim. We really appreciate you are sharing your power and love and your gifts with this world, and you're making a big difference in the society. So I
Thank you,
really appreciate
Dave.
you and your thoughts and what you're giving to us. God bless.
You are my friend, and I'm so proud of you. I mean it. I follow what you're doing. I'm proud of you. And I want to say this, that me coming from a family that did not have money, and some of you remember the story, we had 7 people in a 2-bedroom apartment. You know, come on. When I started to move up in life and get nicer things, Dave, I used to feel unworthy all the time. I remember this guy, I was only 25 years of age, and he liked my speaking, and he had money, he was a businessman, and he said, I want to take you shopping. And I said, no, well, I'll go with you, but no. And he bought me this Armani jacket. I had heard of Armani, but when the man put it on me, Dave, it felt so good. I was like, oh, whoa, I never felt anything like this. And then he said to the salesman, do you have a tailor? Yes, bring the tailor. I said, well, what are you doing? He goes, no, I'm getting this for you. I said, no, you can't. He goes, no, you don't have a choice. I'm blessing you. I was even trying to push away the blessings. Dave, I think that some of our people that are watching here, you're trying to push away the blessings. Don't push away the blessings, because God is blessing you to be a blessing. You are blessed to be a blessing. That's one thing we do in this company. You know, months back, Raja and the whole company, we were helping different cities, different people that were in trouble, different people that are in need. That is part of what we do. You're blessed to be a blessing.
Thank you.
Wow, amazing. So Harinder, your thoughts?
Wow. Tim, great message, my friend, as usual. Every time
Good to see you, my friend.
you bring so much of value to each and every person who's ever is on the call. Right now, I'm looking at about 2,800 people logged on, maybe some family members. You think about 5,000 people listening to your conversation this morning. And they need to understand: are they thinking of utmost, or the most, or almost? Most people almost have given up in their lives in general.
Yes.
There is so much to be done in life, so much to be achieved in life, and God has blessed us to be the utmost, and we have so much of power within ourselves. We need to understand, just developing this Mamba mentality that you just shared with us. I mean, unbelievable things. Now, each and every person needs to understand, to realize the power within themselves. God has blessed each and every person with so much of power. People need to see that power within themselves, because we are the blessed people. When I talked about the blessing, the first blessing that came to me in North America when I came to this country, 18 years back, I was broke and I was offered to be part of this great organization. Blessing came in my life, and I always tell everybody, if somebody gets you to bring you into World Financial Group, he or she is giving you a gift of life. And Terry Johnson right on up here. He gave me that gift of life 17 years back. And through this process, all the wonderful gifts that have come that is, we talk about personal development, all these great thoughts that you shared. We've learned from the best of the best in the company, and we are surrounded by the best of the best. Everybody's uplifting, everybody's talking about finding your utmost from within yourself and really, really developing all these thought processes. And I see this morning, on a Saturday morning, we are all dressed up, we are all fired up, we are all ready to go and launch ourselves in a big way. And this is where people like yourself, Tim, we very love you, we really appreciate you, what we bring to the table. Definitely you're making a huge difference in lives of people, you're changing the world. And we are blessed. And I really appreciate your thoughts this morning. There's so much I've picked up and so much we're going to absorb and so much we're going to bring out to the world to make a better place for other people. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to talk to you as my friend because I see you as my friend. You know, when I told this story about fourth grade, and I was so afraid to read that page, I'd never read out loud. And to take the time and then to miss some words in this, I did not like the feeling. But I was proud of myself because I didn't get mad and say I'll never read again. Or I can't believe the teacher made me read, because I counted, she only had 4 people read. But I said to myself, I'm gonna learn to read. So I would wait for my brother to leave the room, and I would read books. And can you imagine that years later, when I had to then read my book, and they say, maybe he needs a coach. We send somebody with him, because it's most authors, it's difficult to read the whole book. Maybe he needs a coach. And then for me to go with such confidence and a Mamba mentality to read my own book. And then the guy who was organizing it says, now what are we going to do? Because we have the recording studio for many more hours. That's when I said, maybe we should go eat. So we can change. We can change. We can change.
All right, awesome. Great messages. But I'll tell you one thing here, everybody. How many of you wanted to have association of Tim Storey every single day? Okay, and the only way you can have association of him every single day if you pick up his book. Okay, so I have an announcement for all of you, and all these books are the association you have of all these world-class people. And look at this, a gift, a precious gift for all of you on this weekend is this. Now we learn this persistency, we learn like you need to be persistent on your actions, and this is how you take your business to the next level and change your life completely. Now, for showing the action, what I want all of you to do, so I requested Tim this morning that Tim, if you agree, that I will announce today that anybody, because I do not want anybody thinking about how much it is and what it is, I just want you to do some action in your business and move your business to the next level, and we will give you this gift on Monday morning. So here it is. Get recognized with the new book written and signed by Tim Storey. I don't know whether he's going to sign 3,000 on Monday because we have 3,000 people here, but anybody can qualify to receive this book signed by him, which we will be paying for it. So it might be 3,000 books, it might be 1,000. I don't know how many will qualify, but if you go out and do some action, because after a talk, which Tim Storey just delivered, we need action. We need to do some action so that this thought process become our own thought process. Because action leads to having a new and next level thought process forever within you. So let's have some action. Any non-licensed holder, if you go out and do 2 personal recruits in these 2 days, today and tomorrow, and you will be recognized with this special gift, and we will request Tim to send us all the books delivered to your address, and all EBCs will take care of the payment. And license holders, if you do 1 personal recruit and 300 into savings, or you do 500 into personal savings in these 2 days, you will also be recognized. But I want this precious mentality miracle mentality gift within you, with you all the time, so that you can read even a page a day and it will completely change your life. So I really appreciate you, Tim, for coming over today. But let's have a few thoughts about this campaign for 2 days, and we will
Oh,
hear a
I'm,
minute. Yes.
Raj, if I can say this, I am so excited about what you're doing. But again, you're showing your leadership, your mentoring, and how much you love people, that you are trying to get us to rise to a higher level. And I'm going to tell you, we have close to 3,000 people on this call, and maybe more will watch later even. Every one of you should make this move and meet this qualification. Because I'm going to take it one step farther, because I'm obsessed. I'm going to personalize and say something personal to you. Every book I write, I will say something different. You can check with your friend. I will say something different that I feel on every single book. That says a lot, because I might have to do 3,000 of them. But I'm obsessed with taking your life to the next level. And as Raja said, this book, just a page a day, 2 pages, the things, the principles that you can just meditate on. Could you imagine what it could do for your life? So make the sacrifice, meet the criteria, and I will sign the book with a personalized feature on every book, and we will give this as a gift because you've decided to take that step.
Awesome. And I'll tell you, this is so doable, Tim. Like, I'll tell you, there might be 3,000 people you'll be signing the books for.
Yes.
All right. So let's hear a few comments from our executive leaders here, from Jaswinder Dhillon and Bikram Wander, and then our field chairman, newly got promoted field chairman, Terry Johal. So Bikram, what would you say to everyone about this qualification for this special gift and then we will place an order on Monday. So I think is having this book on March 2nd, and we will pre-order everything.
All I have to say is, wow, just what an amazing session we had last 1 hour. And thank you, Tim, for sharing such wisdom with all of us. And just giving everybody the confidence, because what I see is mostly people lack the confidence, lack the belief in themselves.
Yes.
And you sharing that story, that you were one of them, you were one of us, one day in that class sitting there, and you couldn't read, but repetition is the secret for mastery. And this is so powerful, because now this gives the confidence to every single person, everybody sitting here, that they could have been average for their whole life, but this is their chance. This business model actually is all about repetition. The more you repeat, the more you will master it, and everybody could be world class. Everybody could be world class. So this is so amazing. I'm so excited about reading this book from you, and it's just amazing. Thank you, and this is my challenge to everybody, and this is my request to everybody. Don't miss out, because 2 things are happening here. The qualification guidelines are whatever your reasons right now are. Maybe you're stuck, maybe you have some reasons right now why things are not moving. But once you give yourself next 48 hours and you qualify, you're out of that situation. And you're winning. And once you're winning, you have the momentum, and then you qualify for this great book on top of it. Right? That's like, it's like everything will happen for you if you just put your head down for next 48 hours, and all you could think is, man, all the things that didn't happen, that's okay. I'm gonna let go of the past and start a fresh day today with such inspiration given by Tim, and I'm gonna change my life. I'm gonna change my life, and this is a message to myself as well, not only just the new people. Everybody learned so much. So thank you, Tim, and God bless you.
God bless you. I want to say something to you. You're one of our young guys, and we're proud of you. And just watch where you're going. Just keep listening to your leaders. Keep serving other people's vision. The more you serve someone's vision, you'll see your vision come out. And we're very proud of you. Very proud of you.
All right, awesome. Great messages. I can hear all these messages all day. And here is Jaswinder Dhillon, our Executive Vice Chairman. So I know, Jaswinder, like buying a book and receiving a special edition signed by Tim Storey is completely two different things, I'm telling you. But the main thing here is, Tim, it has always been what I figured out over the years, that it's a little action which leads to massive action.
It's so good.
So
So
just a
good.
little effort. So, Jaswinder, what would you say?
Thank you, Vaji. Thank you, Tim. It is a privilege and blessing being today again to listening to you. That's the first thing. As you shared the 5 point, I think that's what exactly we need to win in WFG business. And that's what exactly, I don't know how coincidence happen, but there's Mamba mentality, all 5 point, you see leader in the panel, I think every single leader have that 5 point as per their EBC and million plus income making. The book, as Raja mentioned, written by Tim and something special in the book, this is, I can't have the value for this yet. There's no value. I don't know that cost maybe $2,000 for me, that I think that's not PNC, that's like peanut. Like, this is unvaluable, guys. What else you waiting? I think that's the moment you are waiting. And that moment come, let next 48 hour, 48 action in the field and receive that valuable, gift for you, especially signed by the person. And I always feel that he's a messenger from him. And that message, what are you going to write on the book? I don't know what you're going to write on the book for you, but that is a message for you to win in life. And thank you again, Tim. Really appreciate what I heard. You're blessing, such a blessing with our team.
Thank you. You're my brother too. And I want to say this. I love people so much. What a privilege to write something special. Because each person is different. Each person is different. And you're unique. And as Raja is saying to us, listen, it's little steps that we take. Little steps. Take this little step and get the reward of a signed book. It could change your entire year. Well, it will change your entire year. Thank you for your comments.
Awesome. Actually, yesterday I had a conversation with almost 600 people, and I was discussing this, that all of us, we wanted to make big money in our lives, about even in this business, reaching $250,000, $500,000, $1 million a year. But I tell everybody, I said, you need to challenge yourself. Let's make 5,000 monthly first.
Yes.
Because once you reach 5, you can reach $250,000.
Woo, it's good.
So this is how simple our business is, and I was telling them that this business is all about you make 5 yourself every month, and you just help other 10, 20, 50, 100 making 5.
Yes.
And if
Yes.
you're helping them making 5, you are making $500,000. This is all about making 5. And this is what the discipline is needed for, to this little effort, this focus, this completely condensed focus on this grabbing this $5,000 a month.
That's beautiful.
And if you reach there, you will be reaching anywhere. And that's what my mentality was when I got started. I was badly wanting my existing income, which was $5,000 a month at that time. And I
Yes.
told the person who recruited me, I said, if I make 5,000, I know how to convert that 5 to 50.
Woo!
Right? So, awesome. Terry, your closing message, and what would you say to everybody to qualify for this beautiful book on the weekend?
Well, it's a special privilege for me for having my brother on the call today. So, Tim, you were magical, magical, absolutely phenomenal. You reminded me. I want to take you back in my life when you talk about your fourth grade. In 1993, I read my first book, very first book ever cover to cover. It was called The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandingo.
Yes.
And my four children, two of them on the call today, them sitting in the living room on the floor, and I'm reading out loud to all. I said, "You are my children, you are my audience," and I'm reading to them, and it was a difficult time for them to sit for over an hour to listen to me, and the mothers screaming at them or at me and more than them. Let the kids go. I said, let the kids go. I said, well, can't do that. It's the problem. They're gonna sit and listen to me out loud. And my first time ever, I was so nervous. I've never read a book. I was afraid of reading. I can't spell and I couldn't read well. But you know that day I went through the thing, and every word that was difficult to me, I turned it over to my son Peter or my daughter, and they said, well, how do you pronounce this? And I went through that.
Yes.
I read hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books after that. And outlearned, and I have a reader club that we read, and we take 5 pages a day. We make notes. We make 5 notes out of the book into a special notebook. And third thing we do, we text them to a mentor what we read today. And the fourth thing they do is they get up in the morning, they read those 5 notes and read the books. I read books have been read more than 5 times. Same thing, different thing.
Yes.
So you hit the nail so hard on today, this morning, and I tell you, my heart is swelled with so much feeling that you talked about. Okay, what I would tell people that I say, the long time I heard is that readers become leaders. If you don't read, you'll never become a leader. If you make it and you want to make it, it ain't going to happen. Because people can smell a phony miles away. Okay? You have to be real. You have to be trustworthy in your own voice. Don't you telling people who you are. People can smell who you are. People can know who you are. They can feel who you are. Okay? And I was listening to Tim, and Tim and I, last weekend I was hosting at my house here, and I was sitting outside where you were sitting, okay, relaxing, and the whole people said, you see this thing here? This long chair, this is where Tim was sitting and relaxing, and everybody, all 25 of them, around me, listening to me about you last weekend. And it's because our relationship that day in Winnipeg, you and I sat at the bar. I have that picture. We learned right. Somebody took the picture behind us. Relationship or something magical happened that day.
It did.
In our relationship. And then when Raja announced or Real announced or you announced that, okay, who's going to take my mentorship course? I had my card hanging. I was looking up right there. I'm the first guy. I'm the first guy to jump in because that changed my life. You came into my life a couple of years back. It has tremendously changed my life. When you sent me and told me to read the book, okay, from Dalio, I read that book. And you told me what? You asked me one question and I told it, okay? You asked me, what was in there in that comment in that book that related to you? I said, Ray Dalio was also a paper boy, and I was a paper boy. That thing related to me because that was my first few dollars that I earned, and I bought my mother a watch with it. It's the first gift I gave my mother never had a watch. We come from a humble background. I'm telling you that this morning was a very magical morning. Okay? As I texted you yesterday, and God, I tell you, when Tim came to my life, I know he was a God messenger to change my life. And in the last 2 years, my life has changed a lot. So I want you to understand what you guys are listening to right now. There's many of you, thousands of you. And I don't really care, but I do care in a way that more than 1,000 of you in my heart, I'm paying for it. I wish there was more 2,000 books. I really don't care how many books we got to write, but I want you to rise up to the occasion. The occasion is right now. Next 48 hours is the occasion for you to do something for your family, to do something to build a dynasty for your family. It's 48 hours. Do or die for you. Or are you going to be one of those guys Okay? Or is it gonna lift a hand and it wasn't me? Or is it gonna be your portrait in the living room? That was our grandfather or grandmother that changed our family's destiny. Get to it and change in the next 48 hours and have that special book in your hand. I know I'm going to have a special book in my hand. I'm going to have hundreds of books that coming to my house just right here in La Quinta because I have people come in because I want to give Tim Storey's book. When they come in, I give them gifts when they come from entry. So I want to say, Raja, thank you so much for bringing Tim on this morning. And what a great time and a life to be have Tim here. He's our family. He's not, we call him guest. He's not a guest. He's a brother from another mother to us. So, Dad, thank you, Tim, so much. And thank you, Raja.
You're very welcome. And if I could just say this, Terry, thanks for always being so respectful to Raja, to the leaders. You always speak so well about all the leaders when I talk to you about everyone, and for being a servant. And when I went to La Quinta and you take me to the golf course, you wanted to just serve me. And that says a lot about who you are. You wanted to just serve. Tim, are you okay? What do you need? And God always raises servants up, and that's why you continue to go higher. And you're such a great part of the team.
Awesome. God always raises servants up. Thank you. I think what a blessed day, Saturday, and we are losing 48 hours time right now. You need to go and do some action, and let's receive this precious gift on Monday. We will send orders to the bookstore and get it to the Tim's house, and then Tim obviously sign every book, and I think he said, I'll write a special message to you.
I will, and I'm excited about it.
Okay, awesome. So I hope everybody qualify for this precious gift, but again, it's a mindset which leads to all the success. It's what goes here in the 6 inches between your 2 ears is a very important part of our lives, and we need to pay attention towards it. And what a God's blessing to have such a people in our life where we can listen to these words, where we can listen to these messages. And God's way of changing your life is bringing a message into your life. And this morning is such a blessing. And I was counting the blessing from this morning. Today, Tim is actually my dad's birthday, my daughter's birthday. And also we have this session going on in the morning. And then I'm excited about this action. And I'm looking forward to qualify myself as well. And I think you will send me a gift from your side. So
yes. And Raja, you're looking great because Raja and I are real friends. You're looking great. I tell you, I'm so proud of you. Just yesterday, I was bragging about you. Your leadership and what you're doing for all of us to take thousands of people to the next level. Thousands of people. So thank you for being used by God to do this.
Thank you. I appreciate your time from bottom of our hearts. Thank you so much, Tim. And thank you, everybody. God bless you. Let's go take some action.
Thank you, Tim.